Alright, let me know how that is. As it looks like we're going to see pretty standard openers here from both these guys. Neither of them really want to risk too much here to open up their WCS Valencia tournament run here. So refinery first coming down from Clem. Allows for a little bit faster factory, a little bit faster reactor. Just overall, kind of speeds things up a little bit. Usually do sacrifice a little bit more of the mineral income as, of course, you're manning less. But not really the biggest deal in the end. Mostly a good trade. As now Assimilator going to finish up for Majestic on the other side. Going to be looking to do the same stuff. Really the story here for Clem is kind of what he's going to pursue heading into this game. You know, should be feeling pretty confident. Has had some pretty decent results for himself recently. And now it's all just time to, you know, put up or shut up. You know, this is one of the last few tournaments here to get into BlizzCon to get those oh so valuable WCS circuit points. Got the likes of Neeb and Raynor to battle it out against here, though. As Cyril, of course, the final boss, waiting at the end of the bracket for everybody. Looking to make it a 3-peat for this season. As these guys, this probe from Majestic is actually going to get unscouted. So, might be looking to do some sort of proxy here. Looks like it is going to go ahead and hide on the bottom side of this map. So, we'll see what he's going for with that. As now, up here, Clem is going to be able to get his SCV in, also getting a full scout off. We'll know everything that's going on here. As on the other side, Factory going to come down behind this and a reactor here as the wall gets finished up. Expansion coming down pretty quickly as well. Let me get this to always show health bars. Alright. As now the probe here engaging in the fisticuffs with the SCV is going to go ahead and get chased off. As, ooh, actually trying to find its way back in with the wall hold. Oh, it looks like it's going to go down actually. Okay, is this Reaper here able to draw enough attention, actually able to get a probe kill for itself. So, nicely done there by Clem, finding a little opening. As Stargate is coming down behind this now for Majestic. As double Hellion production is actually going to be the choice here from Clem. Sees that there's no sort of possible wall and that the stock that is an adept first choice means that typically they're not going to be getting a stalker for a little bit, which makes it kind of difficult for him to deal more directly with those with the Hellions. And here we even saw the Reaper getting 3 total kills for itself by just having some nice positioning on the back side. So Clem really showing his dominance right here. It looks like he might lose this Reaper, but getting another worker kill with it, continue to make sure that it's nice and valuable for him. As now Clem is going to be able to get out 2 Cyclones behind this, so we'll have a pretty strong follow-up to these 2 Adepts. These 2 Adepts actually do a lot more damage to it than I thought they did. Wow. Almost taking it out immediately here. As the Hellions are going to be forced to back off way up here towards the top side, so I was totally wrong, my bad. As Majestic tries to chase it off, looks like the Shade not going to quite catch up with him though. As Cyclone production now finally finishing up, going to continue pumping a few more of these guys out. As the first Oracle now looking to make an appearance here in this game. We'll see if he's going to be keeping it at home or trying to send it on the offensive here. Missile turrets already coming up in the 2 mineral lines, so not going to be able to do too much. As adding on more gateways here for Majestic, so making sure that he has some amount of production he needs. Pretty low on gateways actually to start off this game, only with the 1. So there is a bit of a window here where if Clem goes aggressive, it'll be kind of awkward for Majestic to hold. Really going to be important for him to keep these Adepts alive until these extra gateways finish up here, and he's able to get a few rounds. Luckily for him, looks like Clem is really content to sit back here, getting a 3rd command center for himself. Wants to make sure he's in the best position possible as he heads into the mid-stage of this game. Ooh, and actually this probe might get killed here. Ooh, okay, nice. Pretty nice delay there by Clem, able to delay the 3rd base just for a little bit, and these 2 Oracles going to come back here. Should seal the doom of these. Actually, oh, the Hellions! Are they actually going to get away? Oh, barely getting caught out there. As now back in the main base of Clem, continuing to add on more upgrades here. Getting stim for himself now. Adding on a bunker at the front for some protection as +1 now getting started up. Going to be the choice as the Revelation comes down onto these Cyclones. So we'll keep them pretty marked out here in the middle of the map. As they do now look to back it off. And now for the side of Majestic here, you know, has a lot of options as he transitions. Knows that it's a pretty mech-heavy army from what you would normally expect from a Bioforce to be. So Storm becomes not as important here as you want to have a little bit more a little bit more presence on the ground against this. And it looks like what he's going to be doing is he's going to getting up a Phoenix down here, which will allow him to harass the middle lines here, respond pretty well to drops, and continuously apply pressure on the other side of the map here, trying to abuse these Cyclones and force them to stay home to deal with these Oracles. And, you know, the little bits of damage they're able to do are really going to start to add up here. So look to see Majestic trying to abuse this and trying to force Clem to stay at home, and most importantly, not take a third base, as Majestic is looking to secure his own, as the orbital command, command can be finished up here, and now Clem going to be looking to do the same, but is going to be looking to take it right underneath these Phoenixes. So we'll see if they have anything to say about it, if they'll be able to delay it, or if it's not going to be time enough, as a Proxy Pylon coming down here at the top side. Dark Shrine, maybe? Could also be like Proxy Fleet Beacon, I guess. We really want to get weird with it. A little bit curious what he's going to pull out here. As the Phoenixes come through here, you see just like little bits of damage like this, able to kill a couple of workers here and there. And then, I'm going to go ahead and back off over the side of the wall. And so now, the Cyclone's going to start pushing out in towards the middle of the map here, trying to apply some pressure, and most importantly, trying to catch out these Oracles once to start denying these Revelations. But the Cyclones still have this Revelation on from before, and, you know, of course, not going to be able to really get away with it any longer here, as another Revelation coming down. So these Cyclones never able to get out of here without being spotted, and now already you see the Army of Majestic in position here. Does have charge already and getting +1 armor for themselves. Still no +1 weapons here. So prioritizing the survivability of this ground force a little bit more than its damage output, as will allow them to survive a few extra shots here against the Cyclones, as they now start to move in here, catching out one of them. And second one getting very low as well. Two of them getting lifted up here. The Cyclones trying to fire back onto those Oracles. Not really going to have enough damage here. Oh, actually a recall forced here, as they're dropping the main base, doing actually quite a bit of damage here, killing a few of these workers. And now going to get loaded up by Clem and head on out. Looks like most of those Cyclones did get hunted down here, but one still survives and heads for the worker line. Will eventually get cleaned up though. So very nice use of the double drop there by Clem, able to find himself a little bit of an opening and force Majestic to back all the way off there, forces ground army to use that mass recall. As Majestic looks to reestablish kind of the ground he lost there with the recall, wants to make sure he has his Phoenixes in a good spot to catch any future drops. As he starts to look towards the third base of Clem here, sending his army up towards the top side where he already has that Proxy Pylon we saw a second ago for some Warpins, as he doesn't have a Robo. And now this is a lot of Widow Mines here, and I'm not sure if he has enough Phoenixes to lift up all of those. It's going to be a pretty difficult fight, as I don't believe he has Storm just yet. Not even a High Templar Archive. So this is going to be a very interesting fight, and very difficult one for Clem to take here, I think. I'd really like to see him back off, continue to tech up here. As the first Widow Mine shot comes out, and it was not bad. Could have been better though, as now more Widow Mines start to burrow here, backing off. Concussor Shells coming in clutch here, as he tries to buy himself a little bit more time. The bio pushing forward now, catching out a bit more of these Zealots up on the left side, trying to catch out the Marauder, but even it's going to survive here. It really just not much of this army is, not much of this bio is dying here, as the Zealots are going to commit. Lots of good lift ups onto the Widow Mines here. Is it going to be enough? The Stutter Step is very nice here, and the Phoenixes now are able to start picking off these medevacs. This is starting to get a little scary here for Clem, but he has a nice little choke. Not really too much surface area for these Zealots. It looks like he's going to finally start firing back, but at what cost? He's lost most of his medevacs here. The Adepts now heading into the middle line, forcing the SUVs to attack. And the Phoenix is positioning on the top side, looking for any last bits of damage they can get done. But it will finally get cleaned up by Clem, and he has a 15 army supply advantage for himself, and still a almost 16 worker count lead. Clem really playing his socks off here. Great hold there. Really minimizing the damage and abusing that lack of AoE from Majestic, able to get himself in those you know, tight little choke spaces that you know, you might normally not be able to get in, not be able to abuse once Storm is out, but due to such a late AoE from our Protoss player, saw it work out wonderfully for him, as now he's getting a Dark Shrine behind this, and finally getting a Robo Facility for himself. So Warp Prism is going to be a possibility. Immortal is going to really help him deal with this high Marauder count. Perhaps I would honestly like to see him throw down a double Robo if he could afford it. Economy has looked better though, as Blink and +1 weapons now getting started up for Majestic, finally realizing he's been leaving that off, as Majestic now looking to take his fourth. And wants to start taking down these rocks here in the middle of the map, wants to delay this army coming across, still has no AoE for himself. This is going to be a very tough hold. The Phoenix is trying to get some kills on the medevac. It's not going to be able to find him, though. And now the Rock's going to start getting broken down. And this is kind of the last thing keeping Majestic in this game. What is his response going to be here? It looks like trying to transfer some probes before the bio comes through. But the bio comes out just the right time here. Still no AoEs. Force fields, not quite good enough. Not cutting him off well enough here. Has to back up. And there's just not a lot of Protoss here. Almost double the army for Clem and taking this fight. GG. And it looks like Clem is going to be able to take game number 1 here of this best-of-3 series in a pretty convincing fashion. Coming back from a, pretty aggressive build from Majestic. You really abusing that lack of AoE from him. And, knowing that his army was better in a straight-up engagement if he could find the right angles. And was able to find those and abuse them beautifully. So, now we'll be going into game number 2 here very shortly. Thank you everyone who's tuning in. I will see about covering Neeb in the next round if he is not covered by then. Really assumed somebody would have grabbed that. So, waiting for the invite here to game number 2. Hope you guys are enjoying. Let me know if there's any sound settings I could change or anything like that. Keep in mind I'll see it 3 minutes from now, but I will change it. And yeah, we'll be casting all day. Gonna be doing all the way up to group stage number 3 here. So we got a long day of StarCraft ahead of us here. Only in match 1, game number 2 of Group A here, of Group N here. Hearthstone taking on. His name is so hard. I always mess it up. Yeah. Mediamano Easy. Taking on Hearthstone. Believe Hearthstone is gonna win that. Pretty sure he's pretty safe to say he's a favorite. Looks like he has won. Yeah, alrighty. And so now just waiting on the invite to game number 2. Looks like they just started the second lobby. So should be getting in there just a sec. Looks like here we go. It's gonna be on 16-bit. Let's get into it. Clem looking to finish out his first match pretty dominantly here. I think as expected. Really should be seeing him taking on Hearthstone in that winners match if things go to plan here. Let's see if Majestic's going to be able to throw a wrench in his plans and force a deciding map. Let's get in to 16-bit for WCS Valencia, day number 1. Alrighty, and to start us off here in game number 2, spawning down here in the bottom left, in the red, it is our Terran player from Exceed Esports, Clem. And up here in the top right, in the blue, it is our Protoss player. Let me go ahead and fix this, it's going to bother me. In the top right, in the blue, it is our Protoss player, Majestic. Majestic, what does he have planned for us here in this game? Wouldn't be surprised to see him try and mix things up here, or if he's going to try and stick to what he knows. Might be feeling confident with a certain build here against Clem. Had a little bit of time to prepare for this matchup specifically, as Clem going to be looking to do the same opener he did last game. Refinery first into that barracks. So we'll see what he's going to do. I expect him to play pretty much exactly as we saw him last game. Very calm and controlled style, able to find those openings with his medevacs, and really just kind of outmatching Majestic here. So yeah, let's see if Clem is going to be able to continue his reign of dominance here, or if Majestic is going to be able to throw a wrench here, as they are now working on the SCVs here, engaging in some fisticuffs. Now on the run, SCV going to be looking to take his expansion here. Name is black. Is it black for everyone? Okay, cool. So now Reaper coming out here for Clem. Going to be sending that across the map as this probe looks to get to safety. Clem doing a little bit later of a scout this time, but might work out a little better for him. Going to be a little bit closer to when the tech of choice is going to be wanting to come down, and he'll also be able to see the timing of this Nexus here, see that it was a gateway, simulator gate expand. So we'll see how Clem's going to respond here. First unit getting chrono boosted out. It is going to be an Adept. Going to allow a little bit faster response, more mobile response to the Reaper that is inevitably coming as we do see it making its way across here. And let's see if it's going to be able to get any damage done like we saw last game, getting 4 or 5 kills for itself. Mostly unheard of in a high-stakes game like this. I don't know why the music's so quiet, but I'll look at that. As the Adept was able to get the kill onto the scouting SCV, but still not going to matter. Able to get a complete scout off here for Clem. Knows that it is a Twilight Council opening, and is going to go ahead and be able to get the Reaper out safely as well. So, going to hang around to be a nuisance another day here. As the starport is going down back at home now for Clem. So Clem looking to do a very similar style to what we saw last time. This time going for the Widow Mines though, not electing to put the factory onto the reactor just yet. So perhaps has a Widow Mine drop in mind here. Getting a second Widow Mine. It's going to time out pretty well with whenever the medevac comes out. That's what I'm expecting this to be. We'll see exactly what he's going to do with that in a second, as he is getting a Cyclone with this as well. So perhaps just a misclick there. For the second one, as the Reaper continued to sit out here, keeping an eye on anything possibly coming out of the base for Majestic. Not going to be finding too much though, as both these guys looking pretty comfortable sitting back in their base. Blink going to get started up here. Reaper making his main way in, as does able to get the scout off there. Sees the gateway count, very important for knowing when Majestic's going to be able to get aggressive in this game. And, you know, with that scout, Clem's going to know it's not anytime soon. Going to need to add on quite a bit more before it really Clem's in any danger here. Even has the Widow Mine at the front, forces Blink or some nice Adept Shade Micro to avoid taking damage from that. Sees there's a Stargate as well, so not even wasting money on missile turrets right now. As now Raven going to come out here, going to allow him to start contesting, and perhaps even harassing here with these with the Raven. We'll see kind of what he has in store for it, as third base is now coming down for both these guys on the high ground here for Clem. Low ground for Majestic. Majestic feeling a little bit more comfortable against what could be coming out from Clem. But, you know, if we take a look at the map vision, Majestic doesn't really have any idea here. Doesn't have a robo facility, so really can't ever really confirm the information either. So going to be in a kind of an interesting spot where he's committing to different tech choices and making pretty big commitments towards charge, whereas on the other side we see tank production ramping up. You know, I think charge lots are still good in this situation, but, you know, I'd really like to see a faster robo facility from him. I think a mortal count is going to be fairly important here. We saw him die last game due to not really having any AoE to deal with the ball of bio. I don't want to see him fall into that same trap this time. As Reactor going to get added onto the medevac here, Tech Lab onto another one of these barracks, so Marauder production as well as just more bio overall really going to be escalating here. This bio force of Clem going to be very scary, but Majestic looking to catch him with his pants down here. Going to be moving forward with a lot of Blink Stalkers. Heading up towards the Widow Mine now. This is the moment of truth here. Is he watching it? Ooh, actually gets the shot off. Did some nice shield damage onto a few of them. Not as bad as it could have been, as the Stalkers try and break their way to the front. Siege tank gonna do more than enough to force that back for now, but the third base of Majestic is up, and he is able to deny this low ground for Clem here. So, you know, little wins like this for Majestic are a great start to this game for him. Able to delay the third base for the foreseeable future. Granted, it is warping into an orbital, so it doesn't even really have time for it yet anyway, but, you know, the worker count is in favor of Majestic now. Only down 3 army supply here. That's really just less than 1 warp in. So, Majestic going to be making some nice moves to start this game off. Now has to be careful to respect the siege tank here, as it is getting some decent shots off. And now the workers trying to come forward here, trying to secure the third base. 2 of them going to get taken down already. Nice split of the Stalkers. Going to buy himself a little bit more time. Tank gets some nice shots off, though. Health bar is getting lower and lower, and the Stalkers finally going to get forced back. As 1-1 nearing completion for our Protoss player. As 1-1 only about a quarter of the way done here. Actually closer to half for Clem. So Majestic doing good starts here. Has a nice worker lead for himself, 56 to 47 still. And, you know, we see his economy already way better to reflect that. Gonna start catching up now for Clem, now that he has this orbital and has the third base, but 6 gateways in production for Majestic. means that he is going to be able to get very aggressive very quickly here, and especially as we see potential warp prisms coming out. Has he still not added on a robo facility? Still no robo here from Majestic. This is a very weird build. You really hardly ever see just gateway units against Bio with Widowmite and tanks. This is kind of bizarre. Really not sure what there is to gain here for Majestic by doing this style. He is very mobile with the Blink Stalkers, and now going to be using that to almost pick off the Raven there, actually, getting it down into the orange health as 2-2 gets started up. Robo Facility only just now coming down for Majestic, though, and taking a look at the unit count here, we have 7 Marauders and 1 tank and a Cyclone here, as well as a couple of Widowmites, all of which would be a lot easier to deal with if he had a Widowmite, if he had an Immortal available. So we'll see how he's going to be able to hold this. Needs to make sure this army can't get set up, separating him from his resources here. So going to be crucial to find the engagement early. Anti-armor missile comes down onto half the Zealots here. Nice way forward, catching out that Raven. As now the tank actually gets glassed on here. Widowmite's not getting great shots off here for Clem, but there is still quite a bit of bio here. And it looks like the Widowmite's, the Medevac's actually getting loaded up here, heading up in towards the natural. And all of this force of Majestic going to be stuck on the outside. Charizard's getting morphed in to try and help deal with this, but all the workers going to get pulled away from here. This is looking like a dead Nexus to me. Great little play here by Clem, turning a bad situation into a pretty decent one here, denying mining time, and even going to be able to kill the Pylon and the Nexus here. And he's going to be able to get out safely. This does not get any better. Does not get any better than this for Clem. Great moves. As Majestic looking to punish on the other side of the map, but this is a pretty sizable bio force still here on the defense, and with the Widowmite to back it up, I'm not sure that he's going to be able to break this. Majestic doing a nice job, though, with his army positioning. Kiting out these Widowmites, getting some nice shots in before they're able to burrow, as +2 attack is finishing up. +2 armor still on the way for Majestic. Meanwhile, 2-2 not even in the production tab here for Clem. So upgrade advantage definitely on the side of Majestic. As his drop moves back in, continuing to do more damage and continuing to harass and force warp-ins here for Majestic. And it looks like he's just going to XD out. GG. That's going to do it for that series. Clem going to take it 2-0. Thank you everyone who joined us for that first series. Clem kind of showing true to form. Alright, so yeah guys, that's really about it for that first series. I don't really have lots of high level analysis for that game. I think that Majestic